Hi there, welcome to Kneppyinvests and welcome to another answer and reply video. It is October the 5th, 2024. Current time is 3:11 p.m. I'm actually working today, my professional job, and I am on lunch break, so this video will be a shortened version of this series. And thankfully, I am getting through some of your questions and your comments in my in my Kneppy's ASX Daily Rundown video. So that is how I'm dealing with the plethora of comments and questions you have for me. So let's go back about a month ago. In fact, just over a month ago, James Dean died in 1955, says something really interesting. Russia is rolling out drones with optical fiber. Drone shields, anti-drones gun, is going to be obsolete soon. Now, I'm not going to say James Dean died in 1955 is right, but this does raise an interesting question when it comes to companies eventually becoming not taken over, but disrupted. That's the word I was looking for, disrupted. In fact, I would say the vast majority of companies through history, in fact, I'd say 100% of companies in history have been disrupted or are the disruptors. And even the disruptors will eventually become disrupted in the future. So that's one thing we have to keep in mind when we are investing for the long term. Even though company might have been performing quite well in the past 10, 20, 30 or so years, eventually things or competitors will pop up who will disrupt that company. I think it's an absolute certainty, 100% certainty, every single company will go through that. And maybe James Dean died in 1955 is right, and Drone Shield is going to be disrupted with these optical fiber drones. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. But thank you for that comment, James Dean died in 1955. You do raise some interesting questions on occasion. Nice007 says this data report is that high quality that it should be featured as a daily wrap-up on a mainstream financial TV channel. The only problem with that is I like control and power. And that means I can do anything I want. And if this was on some sort of mainstream financial TV channel, I probably 100% likely would have zero control about what I can produce. But thank you for that. And thank you to Astronomic, who says, selfish me is saying no because I'm a hidden gem, apparently, or Kneppyinvests is a hidden gem. Maybe not me, but this channel is a hidden gem. Last year, I followed some of his might be a good time to buy stocks when he talks, not financial advice, and all those are up 50% in less than a year. Wish I followed my own advice, although I don't try to give advice. Anyway, not telling you what stock it was, haha. And maybe Berkshire is hiring, and I'll probably say to that, I'm probably not the sort of investor Berkshire would be looking for. Particularly when it comes to the fact that I do like technical analysis, and I would probably assume, I'm trying to remember if Buffett or Munger have said anything negative about technical analysis, and it wouldn't be shocking if they have or have not. Wouldn't be shocking if they have said something negative about technical analysis. Anyway, but thank you for these very kind comments, EU3. Stu Percy says, so funny, I've always said the meaning of life is procreation or procrastination, says Scott. If only I could get round to it. Yes, well, procreation is the meaning of life. The way I look at it, it's the biological meaning of life, procreation. And I think one of the reasons why birth rates are dropping down is because there's really no need for humans to procreate anymore because we've got this procreation down pat. In fact, there's, 8 or 9 billion of us on this planet. Doesn't really mean, it actually means we don't need any more people. But when you get to, say, species of animal that have maybe 10, 20 left, procreation for these species of animal is vitally important. In fact, I'd say some of these species that are on the brink of extinction, their survival is more important than survival of one person. I think that's an almost absolute. That's pretty, you might say that's pretty harsh, that the survival of one species is more important than the survival of one person. But I actually do believe that. I do believe that. Scott says, thanks, Kneppy. AMS, which is Atomos. Hadn't noticed the shed illusion, so I'm glad I'm asked. Also, Helios looks like an evening star doji at close of play today, which was the 3rd of September. So we're talking about 1 month ago. Last 20 minutes was stink. A chance to take a second position. Do you reckon? Well, I'm one month late in talking about that. And Scott also says Grange Resources, GRR, was my floor suck Tuesday pick, concerning iron ore was down yet. Grange was a morning star until it turned to golfing at the last minute, equal and opposite to Helios. So let's have a look at both these charts, see how they have gone over the past month. Now, I have taken a trading position in Helios, but not Grange Resources. So this is going to be interesting. And Helios has done okay for me since I bought some shares, although I think it might have gone down 2 days ago. So I took a position at $1.65, and the share price right now is what is it? Is $1.75. Yeah, so it's gone up a little bit. I do like this chart. I don't really care. So he's talking about, looks like, just get. So I think he's talking about, no, that was he's talking about the 3rd of September, when in fact the share price did get up to about $1.80, and then it pulled back. And then a few days later, there was a really good candlestick. You can see this sort of, I forget what they call it, but you have the main body and there's a very long shadow below the main body, which tells us there was a lot of buying coming in during the day. So push the share price higher. And since then, we have seen the share price steadily increase. So that one-day candlestick does look good. Now, I'm not the biggest. A one-day candlestick or one-period candlestick won't move me to take a position or sell a position in the company. I like to look at the broader picture. And for me, Helios does look pretty good. And it is gradually getting or going high up. And in fact, that day, the 3rd of September, the share price has, a few days ago, did get higher than the high on that particular day. $1.82. The share price got to a high on the 2nd of October. So this is the chart I like to see. And I do have my sell position. If the share price falls to, say, $1.50, I will sell out of this trading position, which is less than a 10% loss. It's not much. The upside could be, who knows, could be 100%, 200%, 500%, million percent, who knows. Another one was Grange. I don't remember what this looks like in the shorter term, but I would assume it's pretty negative. That doesn't look right. Yeah, that's right. It just doesn't look right. I've got an iron ore watch list here. Let's have a look. You know why it doesn't look right? It's because I'm on the wrong, I'm on the completely wrong index. Here we go. That looks better. Okay. Not sure what the other one was. Grange Resources on GetsMex or something. This is what I expected. ASX Grange Resources. Share price has been a downtrend for a long time. We have seen a little bit of a rally. Yeah, nice little rally. In fact, the share price popped up in fact, the funny thing is, the low in Grange was the day we saw a big spike in volume. That could be just one trade, sort of like a cross trade, but that was the floor in the share price. Sometimes you do see this, a big spike in volume, and then the share price, that is the share price low, and then we saw the share price rally after that over the next 5 or 6 trading days. Share price went from 20 cents all the way back up to above 30 cents. Yeah, about 21 cents back up to 30 cents. Now the share price is pulling back. And that's not surprising because the share price of this company is in a long-term downtrend. Now, one of the reasons why the share price did pop up, I would say because of iron ore prices. I'm just guessing. Anyway, this is an ugly-looking chart for me. Anyway, so I have no interest in that particular company. Okay, so thank you for those 2 comments. Funny, does one try to pick the low now and then or just bet match sticks? It's interesting because I have been successful with picking the low or getting very close to the low. In fact, what I'm going to do in tomorrow's technical analysis video, so this is the video I'll be releasing on the 6th of October, I've already drawn up a bit of a watch list, and some of these companies in my watch list are those companies where the share price is at a really significant or important support level. So there could be a bottom for some of these companies. And the way I trade these, it's a very low risk trade, is because you buy at these supported or important or significant support levels. If the share price falls a little bit, then the support level has been broken. You just sell at a small loss, but then the share price might bounce and you might get 20%, 30%, 50% gain out of it. I do like those plays, and I'll show you, the viewer of that particular video, a few of these companies that have come onto my watch list. So look out for that video. If you're watching this before I've released that video, probably in the afternoon on Sunday, the 6th of October. So look out for that video. Anyway, it is hard to pick the exact low, but you can get close to it. And a lot of times when the share price does bounce, when you do see a low, does not mean the share price, that is the bottom, the absolute bottom. Share price can drop lower. For instance, a good example of this is People In. This is a great example, in fact. So I bought some shares on this company in December last year. A massive spike in volume. The share price got to $1. And then I sold it at a 20% gain. Share price actually went from $1 back up to about $1.40 in February. And then the share price moved back to $1. It stayed above $1 for a few months and then fell through $1 in April and then kept on going down. It recovered, went back up to $1, tested $1, and then fell away. We've seen another rally in the share price recently, but the share price seems like the share price is, the moving average, what's that? The 100-day moving average is a resistance level for this particular company. The reason I say that is we've seen the share price pull back from the 100-day moving average 3 times or twice in the past, and it's there right now. So it just shows you technical analysis does work. And $1 or round numbers tend to be fairly important, just psychology of the investor. And for this company, $1 is a significant level. And we've seen that play out over the past almost 1 year, how important $1 has been for this company. And the way you could play this is you just buy when the share price breaks above $1, because that would mean the share price is moving into an uptrend or has already moved into an uptrend. Okay, so thank you. That's for that comment, Scott. I rambled on a little bit longer than I thought I was going to do. Dykesy says, thoughts on IGO during this low, both company and chart. I don't know much about the company, except they're lithium, aren't they? Maybe they're more diversified than I'm thinking, but I just think lithium when I think of IGO. And because they are a mining company, straight away I say this is a low quality company and the share price will move at the whims of the underlying commodity they are mining, which will be lithium. So if you think lithium is going to increase significantly, and you have proof of this, probably is a better way to say it, then this could be a good company in the future. But at this point in time, just by looking at a chart, I'm not interested. Share price is still in a downtrend. I wouldn't say the bottom has been reached, because it looked like maybe the bottom hadn't been reached for this company when the share price was $7. You can see share price hit $7 and remain above $7 for about January, 6 months, and then fell through $7 on the 11th of June and kept on falling. So again, actually it's a bit below $7, but that level around about $6.80 to $7 is an important zone for IGO. So at this point in time, no interest, personally, no interest in this company because the chart doesn't look that good to me. And I'm more likely, way more likely to use technical analysis for mining companies than other companies. But I'm starting to use technical analysis more and more, even for companies that I have in my high quality portfolio. And I'm thinking of using a different strategy than just buy and hold high quality companies. I'm actually thinking of trading my high quality companies, having a sort of a permanent position, whatever you want to call it, and then trading depending on the chart. So increasing my holding when the chart looks really good, decreasing my holding when the chart looks pretty negative, but maintaining sort of a permanent position in those companies. I think I could do pretty well if I did that. Sam Bell, D1. Shout out to the hardworking folk at SGI. You guys rock. Good on you, Kneppy. I think there was a few questions about SGI here. Stealth. or maybe it's coming up. Trey OD 4158. Your videos are so informative and is greatly appreciated. I am a long-term investor and would like to dabble into swing trading. I was going to say sting trading, but are there any recommendations you have, or do you provide educational content? As I'm sure many of us would happily pay for, I don't provide educational content. I have looked at paying for educational content, and I have not refused, but I've backed off. Sometimes they just are way too expensive. And other times I had a look at their content and went, I'm not sure, because a lot of stuff I've learned is just doing my own research. That's what I have done in the past. I've just done my own research. A lot of books I've read. So I have heard someone say, you can't learn from just reading books. You need a mentor. I've actually heard that from one of the people who was trying to get me to pay for educational content. You need a mentor. That's how you learn. But everyone learns differently. I don't or would not learn from a mentor. I just learn from reading about something, delving into what I read, and then seeing it for myself. And it's taken me over 10 years. So when I first started investing, it was all about, I was probably more like a value investor, more like Buffett, that sort of thing, because that made sense at the time. But as I delved more into investing, I realized that technical analysis does work and it is important. And I could increase my profits, increase my capital by actually delving into technical analysis. So I wanted to learn more and more about it. Now, one of the reasons why I started to learn was because simply I'm curious. I'm very curious. And I think that is quite beneficial. And it does disappoint me sometimes when I hear experts saying or poo-pooing technical analysis, because I realize they don't know much about it. They just poo-poo it. They just criticize it without trying to understand it. And that's probably how they were taught. So it's taken me, I think, probably took me about 10 years before I became really comfortable using technical analysis, and I'm still learning. So I have revealed a few books I'm reading, and I'm still reading these books, still go through them. So I might read them once, then go through it again, and then go through it another time. And this goes back to when I started learning meteorology. You might learn it once. You try to, what's that? You learn it in your mind, or just, what's it called? Rote relearning or something. I forget what it's called. So you just learn. You don't learn the concepts, but you learn what you think the exam wants to, the answer the exam wants you to spit out. But then I realized that if you do try to go over something numerous times, over and over again, then eventually you understand the concepts. That was a really important moment for me when I just started learning or reading something and I went, I understand this concept. And when you understand a concept, it just opens up so many more doors to you. So I think that's the most important thing. Understand the concepts, understand why, or understand, say, for instance, psychology. Why is a round number an important level? If you understand that simple concept and why it is actually true, then you are going a long way. Anyway, so swing trading, someone has actually told me I'm more of a swing trader than anything else. I'm not sure that is, or swing trading. I'm not sure if that's true, but anyway, I would read books. I do or have provided some content in regards to what books I'm reading. I won't do it right now because I am short of time, but yeah, definitely don't provide any educational content. And probably the other reason I don't provide educational content is because I just don't think I'm good enough to do that. Now, the funny thing is, if I did provide educational content, added benefit of doing that is you do learn. The best way to learn is to provide training. And I actually have thought about that. The way I learn is to provide educational content. So I wouldn't absolutely rule out that I'm going to do that. But I don't think I'll ever make you pay for educational content. Anyway, hopefully I've given you some insight in what I've just mentioned there. Maybe I went around in circle. I have no idea. James Dean died in 1955, says, marriage and kids are good for raising blood pressure and risk of heart attacks. Well, since I've never been married or had kids, don't know. I've been in long-term relationships, but not married. I'm not the marrying type. James Dean died in 1955, also says, please review APA's results and outlook. I thought it was reasonable, but share price has dropped below long-term support. Thank you. I'm not going to review APA results right now, but let's have a look at the chart. I have noticed, or did notice the other day, that the share price had bounced and it fell then. I wonder if the share price or the company went ex-dividend on Friday. Let's have a look. Did the company go ex-dividend on Friday, which would have been the 4th of October? You can easily check that out. No, they did not. I'm not sure why the share price went down 3.4%. It looks like it went ex-dividend, and there was a bounce. And lo and behold, the share price bounced off a support level, which is about $7.20. It does work, and that support level goes all the way back. Geez, it goes all the way back to 2016. Anyway, I won't have a look at the results. I would say that there is chance this company it's getting to the point where it might be some good value. P ratio of 9.9, dividend yield of about 7.7%. This is an infrastructure company, and I would assume that these sort of companies would become more attractive when interest rates are dropping because of their dividend yield. So I would expect the share price to rally if we do see a period of interest rates dropping, which I think we will see. So I'm not sure why the market is a bit dubious about this company right now. And that's me without even looking at their results. So I'm more likely just to trade this company and just wait for the share price to move up, wait for the selling to stop. I'm not sure what's happening. Now, would I take a position if I see the share price get back to 720? I could, possibly. I've done this with Aurizon. I don't think this is a high-quality company. It's sort of like an infrastructure company as well. I've got this purple box, and I said to myself, if the share price of Aurizon falls into this purple box, particularly towards the bottom, I would take a position. And I took a position at 330. Could have bought at 315 during that day, but I took a position at 330. Share price is up about not quite 10%, but it's getting close. And the reason I took a position in this purple box is because every single time the share price of this company gets into that purple box, the share price rallies eventually. So you might have to be a little bit patient, but eventually it's going to rally. So I could imagine the same thing happening with APA Group, because eventually people see that dividend yield, people see the P ratio and think, oh, there's good value here. So it's going to be the value investors who are going to start coming into this company or buying shares in APA Group. So that's me without even looking at the results and even knowing the outlook. Kevin Hennessy wants Kogan to contact him. Have I done these? I think I've done these. Dropsuite with a Pennant tightening up too. I'm not sure I've done this one. But Dropsuite does look pretty good. There it is. Dropsuite does look good. Nice little run at the end of July. And the share price is just going sideways. But it's almost like a, what do you call this? It's almost like maybe a long-term pennant. And it's sort of like a triangle. I forget what it's called. Like what he mentioned here, Scott, pendant tightening up. So pendant trading, pennant. Oh, I think I've done this before, yeah. Because I remember thinking, oh, it's pennant, not pendant. Yeah. Or a flag. It does sort of look like a pennant, but I'm thinking more of a ascending triangle. That's what I'm thinking it's more like. I am really using my brain right now. Remember, here it is, ascending triangle. This is an ascending triangle. This is via Investopedia. This is one from Centrepoint Securities. So you have the top sort of going straight, flat, so flat resistance, and then rising lower trendline support. That is what it looks like to me, Dropsuite. Although the share price, yeah, you might They might not be straight. It might be more like that. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of arguments here. But anyway, it does look interesting, Dropsuite. So thank you for that. Jason Nimmo, is JB Hi-Fi in a bubble, getting close to my $85 target? It got to my $80 target and I sold. Once it tops, it's going to be bad for the broader market, in my opinion. Yes, I am or have been a shareholder of JB Hi-Fi, and then I've sold. Got to $80 and went, yeah, I'm gonna sell. What I should have done, and I discussed this earlier. What I should have done is sold out a portion of my holdings and then maintain another portion of my holdings for the longer term, like a forever, maybe not forever, but longer term holding. But I completely sold out of JB Hi-Fi. And I just took my profits. And the main reason, the share price more than doubled since I bought. So I bought back where the share price was about $40, $41. And then I sold at $80. So almost doubled. And the PE ratio when I bought, in fact, I think it was below $40 when I bought. It was down in late 2022. I forget exactly what price I bought. But when I did buy, the PE ratio was like 8. And I went, yeah, JB Hi-Fi's PE ratio should be way more than 8. Now the PE ratio for JB Hi-Fi is 20. And I do think there's definitely arguments that JB Hi-Fi is now overvalued, just like the banks. But it doesn't mean the market won't remain irrational for a long time. And maybe the share price will keep going up. So I just thought, it is overvalued. I'm going to take profits. And I actually am thinking of doing that for some other companies I hold in my high quality portfolio, which JB Hi-Fi is one. But I don't think I will completely sell out. I'll just take some profits. And then if the share price pulls back significantly and then I see some value, I might add to my position, particularly if the chart looks pretty good. Anyway, thank you for that, Jason Nimmo. AMA Group price is now above 6 cents. Did you buy? Yes, I bought AMA Group, and I bought AMA Group. I'm just waiting. There. I mean, by 6 cents. I'm just waiting. I have like a sell price at about 5.5 cents. It fell through 5.5 or 5.7 cents. Did fall through that a little bit on the 26th of September, but I do like to remain patient just because it falls through my sell price. Doesn't mean I was going to sell straight away. I need to see it below that for a little bit of time because the share price rallied. I would love to see the share price of AMA Group get above 6.4 cents. This has some promising signatures to it. I think this could be the start of an uptrend for AMA Group, and they don't have to release Appendix 4Cs anymore. They just mentioned that the other day. Thank you, Nice007. I think I've done these before. I'm pretty sure I've done these. Have you done a marathon? Yeah, because I've talked about that before. Talk about stealth. Oh, thank you, Simon. 2 videos in one day. You don't get used to that. Oh, here's an interesting one. That showbiz says you must keep your local postie pretty busy, Debbie, with chess statements constantly arriving. No, they don't arrive anymore. I think it's all online. Yeah, they used to arrive all the time, but not anymore. I haven't seen one for years. So I'm not sure where they're going. Oh, you know why? Do you know why? Because I trade mostly superhero. So that's why I don't get chess statements anymore, because superhero probably receives them more. And George says, thanks for another standalone video. You're welcome. True Trung Nguyen, sorry for my pronunciation. How is this company right now? Mineral resources. It seems like iron ore and lithium prices have hit the company hard, isn't it? Absolutely true. This is an iron ore and lithium company. And if iron ore and lithium are doing really badly, then mineral resources are going to do really badly. But what has happened over the last few weeks? We have seen a bit of a surge in iron ore prices. Hence, we have seen a surge in mineral resource share price. I would also say when the share price got to about $30, I think there was a lot of value investors. I do know the one Invest Smart guy, what's his name, Mark Morland, said he had put in a buy at $28. It got very close. The other thing to note, really big volume coming in when the share price got below about $35. And look at the volume, some really good volume. That is telling us that there are institution has probably taken a position in Mineral Resources at those lows, and then a really good bounce. Share price has increased about 70, 80% since those lows. That's a pretty nice bounce. I wouldn't say the downtrend has come to completion, but a lot of volatility in Mineral Resources. Okay, and I am going to end it there for this particular video at 30 minutes. If you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.